The Benghazi terrorists provided select video of their attacks on the U.S. Consulate in Benghazi, Libya, to the news media shortly after the attack was over. Surprisingly, it now appears that portions of the consulate terrorist attack video actually aired on CNN even before Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods were killed. The focus of this video is the pre-attack sequence at the B1 gate. This video is best viewed after you visit my Flickr account, Benghazi Gates. There you can download the consulate map now on the screen for easy reference. In order to clarify much of what you are seeing, I have inserted video stills with key information throughout the video. You can easily pause on these frames to study the image and then continue. This photo shows the U.S. Consulate C1 main gate. Jersey-style concrete barriers and 2 heavy steel gates are in place to control vehicular entry. In this post-attack photo, you can see that one of the black and orange swing gates is in the up position. You can just barely make out a tan tower structure jutting up behind the trees. This landmark feature clarifies the location at which most of the video sequences in this video were recorded. You can also see the location of gate B1 in the distant background. A single Jersey-style barricade is in front of this gate. Both of these gates are along the northern property line of the American compound. This main gate photo shows that the gate itself is still intact after the attack. Actually, the terrorists just walked right into the compound. The lone surveillance camera can pan the main entry area. This main gate surveillance camera photo was taken on June 6, 2012 at 1:31 a.m. following a terrorist attack in which a bomb was detonated along the wall to the right of the C1 main gate. Notice the limited field of view provided by the lone surveillance camera. No one was killed in the blast. However, the blast did breach the wall, creating easy access for any would-be terrorist. The location of the bomb attack was a not-so-subtle warning to the Libyan militia forces that help protect our consulate. Their barracks are located behind the location of the blast. The video camera coverage was grossly inadequate for security surveillance at this location, the main entry point to the consulate. During the investigation of the June 6 bomb attack, I contend that this photo had to be shared with the Secretary of State, and yet no video surveillance improvements were made between that attack and the one on 9/11/12. This is the front of the main building. Ambassador Stevens held meetings here and lived here when in Benghazi. It is located in the western half of the compound along with the Libyan barracks. This photo was taken from the roof of the main building looking north towards the front of the property and the C1 main gate. The emergency ladder visible on the left side of the photo was used by an escaping Libyan guard to hide on the roof of the Libyan barracks building as the terrorists began their attack. The State Department claims that all of the attackers came through the main gate, using it as a single point of attack. This account contradicts several news media accounts which cite eyewitnesses who saw some attackers entering the compound at the B1 gate. If you swing the camera around 180 degrees, you can see the C2 rear gate. I do not know if the C2 rear gate can be used to enter and leave the compound, but based on the design of the rear gate, it seems highly unlikely. Also, the rear gate opens up onto the very busy 4th Ring Road. It appears that there was only one way to abandon the consulate, through the main gate. The location of the armored SUV in the Al Jazeera video, which is now on this YouTube channel, was determined based on the fact that the SUV was parked on dirt immediately in front of a brick driveway. The distinctive vegetation visible in the photo confirms the location. In this ground-level photograph of the C2 gate, taken after the attack, you can see a sandbag defensive position. Temporary sandbag structures like this are clear and convincing evidence that the State Department was keenly aware of the difficulty of protecting the compound from attack. After the bomb attack on June 6th, the Secretary of State must have known how risky it was for her diplomatic security forces to keep the ambassador safe at this sprawling compound. One well-placed round from an RPG could easily kill anyone behind the sandbags. Moving over to the eastern side of the compound, the next series of photos was taken from the roof of the Tactical Operations Center. Here you can see the southern half of the alleyway that runs north to south between the main building side of the compound and the U.S. Security Forces side of the compound to the east. The dividing walls create terrorist access pathways while offering no additional security. The walls create a unique monitoring burden for the security forces. While under attack, the alleyway has the potential to become a kill zone for U.S. security forces darting over to the main building to aid the ambassador. The sandbags, lighting, and security camera are clear signs of acknowledgement of the additional risk that the alleyway creates. Swinging the camera around 180 degrees to the north, you can see the main building and the access pathway between the east and western halves of the compound, and yet another defensive sandbag position. The landmark tower structure can clearly be seen in this set of photos. A second armored SUV, though not mentioned by the State Department, was available and must have been used during the abandonment of the compound on the night of 9/11/12. As the cameras move to the east, you get a panoramic view to the north. You can pick up amazing detail of what the compound looked like from a security perspective. Given the bomb attack on June 6th and America's lack of a response, the security measures, defenses, and security staffing actually invited, if not begged, for another attack. In this post-attack photo, you can clearly see a panoramic security camera. The B1 gate could easily be monitored with the camera as long as adequate lighting was available at the B1 gate. You have now seen the location of 3 Benghazi gates, 2 northern gates and 1 gate to the south. This short clip implies that a terrorist team is arriving. The dirt road tells you that they are not on the road in front of the consulate, which is paved. This next sequence shows one of the terrorists taking control of the scene when he captures an unarmed security guard. The guard appears to be a young man. He is wearing a navy blue vest over a long white t-shirt. His body language suggests that he is fearful. He puts his hands out away from his body to show that he is unarmed and harmless. He is completely passive. Unarmed guards can be found providing the exterior of U.S. embassies with security around the world. They are observers. Their main weapons are their powers of observation and a two-way radio. In this case, neither weapon worked. As the video returns to live action, take a look at the back of the Blue Mountain security guard's vest, and you will see what appears to be white text in the center of his back. If he's not a security guard, he sure picked a bad night to take a stroll in front of the U.S. consulate. Next, we see several terrorists walking around near a security light. After examining this sequence frame by frame, I suspect that one of the terrorists is wearing the same type of uniform as the young security guard. From this point forward, the terrorists have spliced the video, removing short segments for no apparent reason. The conversation sounds like it is continuous despite the short deletions. I suspect the splicing was done to hide the fact that one of the terrorists is in fact wearing a Blue Mountain security uniform. If so, did they take it from the security guard they captured, or was this an inside job? You can see for yourself in the slow motion sequence in this segment.
كيف جوه متقربة سيارات والله ما قصرت بارك الله فيك نقول لك حاجة والله يا راجل ما معي فينا يا راجل يسكوا الكاميرا كروا فينا ونية خلي راجل يصور.
In this photo you can see the gate very clearly. This is the B1 gate. What is unusual about this security light is its close proximity to the ground. At a little over 9 feet, it is readily accessible without a ladder for 2 men. There is an object that may be a security camera just to the left of the light, but the resolution and darkness of the video make it impossible to verify what the object is. One would certainly assume that each gate had a security camera, but who knows for sure? Well, the Americans guarding the compound and the State Department managers watching the attack know. There appears to be a frame that could be a reinforced structure for a man door in this gate. A man door allows entry for pedestrians without the need to open the large gate. In this photo you can see the tower structure, the C1 main gate, and a distinct landmark building. Because there was a splice in this video at the point when the camera is aimed at the C1 main gate, unless you recognized the B1 gate, you could not prove that the terrorists were always so close to the U.S. compound, and specifically at the B1 gate. They could have been standing around any residential security gate in Benghazi, and there are a lot of them. There's one a little further down the road. The landmark building to the right in this photo appears to be a 3-story structure. You would be able to see directly into the consulate compound from the 3rd floor and since it is directly across the street from the Diplomatic Security Special Agent's quarters, an observer perched on the third floor could easily alert his fellow terrorist of any security agent movements towards the B1 gate. On November 1st, Foreign Policy magazine reported that on 9/11/12, Ambassador Stevens had reported to Libyan authorities that a local policeman was seen taking photographs of the compound from a building across the street. This building fits the description. The original Sky News Arabia report ends just as someone with a flashlight at the main gate signals the terrorist in front of the B1 gate. The signal, 6 flashes, was shown on CNN's AC360 show on September 11th. The flashes have recently been shown on Fox News Channel as part of their voiceover during discussions about the Benghazi terrorist attack with no explanation or context. Fran Townsend, an excellent analyst at CNN, is speaking on AC360 News as the flashes occur. Her words are so compelling that I left them in. Perhaps the president should have listened to her entire analysis back on 9/11/12.
That is the 9/11 anniversary where Americans are remembering.
If you viewed my short video clip, The Benghazi Terrorist in Their Own Words, you may have noticed that this version of the terrorist is out of sequence from that version. The next video sequence is last because the terrorists have knocked out the light at the B1 gate in response to the flashlight signal. Once the light is out, the sequence of events is locked. All events with the B1 gate security light on occurred earlier.
قال لك رد يا صاحبي. انا اسمع انا قاعد معاك يا صاحبي. انا الامن الامريكاني يطلع وخش سوي. اوكي خليه يا جماعه انتم.
For all of the yelling and loud talk you hear on this video clip, if I can believe my translator, the terrorist did not yell words to the effect, "Okay, knock out that damn light and climb over that gate so we can start the attack from 2 directions as planned." What they did say is, take pictures, and "We did something, no need to waste time talking, we move forward." And suddenly, these words taken in the context of knocking out the light make sense. The terrorists are well aware that their activities were being camcorded by someone with them, but as they prepare to attack, they want pictures too. With the light out, they are ready to move forward. Now how can I be so certain that the terrorists are at the B1 gate? After all, I don't know what the zoom setting is on the camcorder, and a poor resolution of a building that may or not be a landmark does not constitute proof in the darkness that we see. Al Jazeera reporter Hoda Abdel Hamid explains what she was told by eyewitnesses who saw the attack underway at the B1 gate.
This is the gate from which the attackers entered the grounds of the consulate. Now, according to the witnesses here, they were in 4 cars with black flags and were heavily armed. Their first stop was that building.
In this video still, you can see that the B1 gate matches the one seen in the terrorist video, and the landmark building behind the B1 gate matches the poor resolution building in the dark. You can see a 5th building is present at the compound. What its purpose is, I am not sure, but the presence of a satellite dish on the roof suggests it is related to communications. In this photo, taken during the testimony of State Department Security Manager Charlene Lamb, you can see that the gray building location has been colored over in gray. I believe the building and its purpose were discussed in the classified House Oversight hearing prior to her public testimony. Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens deserved the best America could give him. He died because he received the least America could give him, even after his death. For the most part, the American news media let him down, and those who will follow him by failing to report the news. It's that simple.